Well, I'm going to go on record and say this is the highest budget podcast we've ever done in our entire lives.
Yep. I'm already been on with my real estate agents trying to find me a house with well, at least the next house we land in a little jumbotron in there. I'm not sure if they can facilitate that, but I feel like this should be a everyday occurrence.
Yeah, we're in the rehearsal space in Nashville, ready to kick off leg 2 of the Not My First Rodeo tour, starting in 2 days. We had our first, rehearsal started yesterday. The crew was setting up all this wonderful stuff you see behind you and a bunch of other controls off camera, which you can't see. And just a tremendous team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got a great team.
Great morale. A lot of people coming back from leg 1, couple new faces.
Yeah, we're bringing, Foley is not going to be joining us.
Because of health complications.
He was severely injured in a 18-wheeler incident.
Let me rephrase that. He was severely injured in an 18-wheeler accident.
Allegedly.
I was using air quotes if you can't see the video.
But yeah, no, that's not why. He actually has some body issues, and
yeah,
we also really do. I'm going through a huge transition. I've mentioned this. We have some amazing operators. Like the way I'm looking at the business and like this overall mic business, everything we're doing, it's going to be Stevenson Ranch Incorporated, you know. But I'm not looking for a manager. I'm looking for partners. I'm looking for I'm looking for a COO. And we found an amazing tech-based operations company in Miami, and they're going to be essentially our back office for all our businesses. Believe it or not, like we have multiple verticals that are doing 7 figures in business within the thing, and me and Foley are managing it. Mm-hmm. You know, you're managing Only Steve's and podcasts.
Yeah.
But Only Steve's is a huge revenue stream for us.
Yeah, but it's really the businesses that have large overhead. You think of like merch.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Only Steve's is a fucking walk in the park.
Only Steve's is great, and like there's enough. Like,
you got a great gig.
It's a great gig. I mean, I handle the customer service. Not gonna lie, I do a great job. Best customer service guy in the business.
Yeah, you are. You are really good. You are really good. Yeah, I mean,
but it's a great gig because you don't have to worry about like shipping people stuff.
Oh, I mean, Foley's literally,
you know what I mean?
Like Foley's wearing 17 hats, you know, and it's like, so part of our merge is these operators will have a full HR department that we're using to source our partners for fulfillment. I mean, with the growth that we've seen, it's been really a challenge. We've almost drowned a few times in regards to just having too much shit going on and managing it all. Chugbud is growing again. Really, we got a big Amazon wave. Anyone listening, do us a favor. If you're going to get Chugbuds, which you should for the summer, if you don't, you're an idiot. But get it on Amazon, and once you get it, leave us a review and just say this fucking company fucks.
In those exact words.
It really helps. It really helps the Amazon algorithms and such, is what I'm told. So, yeah, everything's really good. Foley won't be coming on tour, back to the main point. So we have, he'll be here kind of holding down the fort and really holding down the fort until we get our new operators onboarded completely. So we can grow our digital businesses. Because when we went on tour last time, we were just kind of focused on tour because it was the first tour in a long time and it was bigger.
This is the first time, so obviously a lot of businesses have been created in the past 3 years and have grown in the past 3 years.
Yes.
And this is the first time that we've been on, or for me anyways, the first time I've been on tour and have to like worry about tour stuff and while still worrying about all those big businesses that are going on. Mm-hmm. And like, I mean, for me anyways, I was like a little rattled because I was like, 3 years ago, the podcast wasn't a thing. Only Steve's wasn't a thing.
Man,
I was kind of just like doing content. I was kind of just doing
not even, and now we're doing content 5x the volume.
Yeah, now you talk about the TikToks we're doing, and Instagram and Twitter, and Only Steve's in the pod. Like media has just like 10 times in the past 3 years.
Really has.
Yeah,
really has. I mean, we're in the days of high volume media, which is just kind of more cutting and sewing for you, Yeah.
But we got a great team though. One of our greatest team members, Luke, is right here behind the camera.
Yep. Big Luke's in the building.
Big Luke's, he runs all the social media for YNK.
Yep.
He runs the mic TikTok. Mm-hmm. Great man behind the scenes.
Yeah, good guy. Good guy to have. We have a bunch of. This has been like, as you kind of mentioned, we started a bunch of businesses, and just grew the ones kind of more. What's the word? Optimized / official, like kind of made them more official, their own businesses in the last 3-4 years, like. So, we definitely have been in an expansion phase. I think it's going to continue, at least for we're going to make a bunch of hires and have hopefully a bunch of cool new, young people around helping us and just helping us do what we do at volume, at scale.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. I mean, we're really just pushing to people within our umbrella for the most part.
Yeah.
And we don't do any marketing really outside of you promoting it.
Yeah.
So like when you say bring on COOs for each of these businesses, you treat them as their own thing, not just a mic brand.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Their own entities. And then you actually start marketing them like a real business.
Exactly.
To everyone, not just your fans.
I mean, we just
started.
Chug Bud's a perfect example. I had a partner of mine, a buddy of mine, buy in a small percentage stock purchase from me, and then for a ton of money, and it was amazing. I infused it into shit we're doing, but at the same time, that partner, he's a strategic partner, and he's grown and sold a few businesses. He's a serial entrepreneur, and to what pertaining to what you're just talking about, Chug Bud, we kind of went after growth for the first time for any of our businesses. Even my music, I don't spend any money to grow the music. I tell people in the industry that, they're like, what? Like, and then almost like, that's crazy. Like, you should be, and there's validity to that. But I also know that there's validity to a lot of smoking mirrors in the music industry with money spent and doing it thoughtfully. And, we have some lucrative things coming into fruition so that we can really spend the money on growth, which privately funding it all, personally funding it, I should say, just in-house funding is a different beast, but we're looking to just kind of make the whole thing corporate in a sense, and each vertical be its own thing and really treat it like a business in its own, which it is. So it's exciting. I think there's a lot of growth ahead of us. So I'm really excited. The fucked up part is, man, I feel really creative right now. You know what I mean? And as a creative person, that you can't, if you don't respect it, the creativity, and you
don't act on it,
you take it for granted. You feel creative and you're not exercising it and actualizing it.
Mm-hmm.
The gods will take it away.
I know exactly what you're saying.
The gods will take it away. So I've spent a lot of my creativity on managing our businesses.
So I wanted to bring that up. Do you feel so you're very involved in all of these businesses? I mean, you're essentially the CEO of all these businesses.
Yeah, with Foley and yourself.
No, of course.
And
then you know what I mean though.
Partners,
you're very integral in what happens in the decision making of all these businesses. Do you feel like there's an act of letting go, where you have to almost step back and kind of just put your trust in other people to manage these things?
Yes.
So you can focus on the music and the things that you want to be doing?
That's valid, and yes, but yes and no, because I actually genuinely, for about a year or so now, have been longing for a solution like this so that I could. So my intuition was it wasn't like I still am ooh, man, I don't know if I can give this away. I'm like, yes, someone come take this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's more how I feel
more
about
of a relief.
it. But it's a relief, but I'm really excited to what I was just kind of saying was I'd really love to honor my creativity and just create for a long time here, and just because I have crazy records, bro. I really fuck with the new records a lot, and there's a lot of ideas that need to be taken from idea to song, and I feel really inclined to create and make music really high volume here for a while. So that's probably what I'm most excited about, is just being able to. Because again, I'm just spending a lot of energy on shit that's not making music, which is really what I do, and it's truly what I find most. I'm most enthusiastic out of everything I do. Granted, I've liked doing all the business, and I'm most enthusiastic about the music by far right now. There's been times when not so much. I was really enthusiastic about Chug Bud, and I know what it could be, and it's so now I'm just excited to dial in. And I have a good buddy of mine. I feel like this is a good point to share. I have a good buddy of mine who actually, this makes a lot of sense, because he actually put me with the operators who I'm partnering with. He has hundreds of buildings in Texas. He's like, dude, I don't even fucking know the project managers. These buildings, I've never even met the managers at these buildings. They go, Sandy, all these guys in Miami.
I remember back office. At the house, he brought up a good point where he said, once you get people to operate these businesses for you, it allows you room to come up with another idea.
Oh yeah.
And then come up with operators for that idea, and then come up with another, and then you just think about you can bring in tenfold money just because all you're doing is coming up with the ideas and setting up the infrastructure. Yeah,
exactly. We're trying to go with it. So, but I'm looking at it. It's ironic because he's a real estate guy, but I look at songs as fucking buying property, man. Mm-hmm. It's a really small overhead cost, way more than a down payment would be. It's even better than buying property, in my opinion, because looking at the analytics of my music and just like, I buy a piece of property for a tiny amount, like comparatively to what a down payment for a home would be.
Yeah.
Much bigger risk, right?
Yep.
These are really small amounts because I'm doing most of the music myself. We have a producer I partner with for each song. So there's some costs.
Well, the real cost was the time to get to where you are now.
Right. But I'm saying now in this way I'm looking at
this state, yes.
The business of music and the way I'm approaching it is, if I put out a song every few weeks, it's like buying a piece of property every few weeks. And I'll explain. Right. It's like, yeah, one of them might turn into a fucking apartment building in Ohio.
Technically, it's more like building a house, but continue.
Right, but what I'm saying is, like, one of them could morph into a fucking Miami oceanfront mansion value.
Oh,
like
Big
songs
time.
like These Days, like that went on and made, and then the median, like, what's the median amount of money that I make in 5 years off a song? I mean, we're talking about incredible.
Yep.
ROI on a small down payment to make a song. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's my time, my creative energy, but you know what I'm saying? So it's not to just pump out songs I don't like, but I do have so many records that I like, and I'm just in a creative vibe.
You're making a lot of Miami beachfront properties.
Yeah, I think
you're doing a whole gated community.
I think so.
The next album is a gated community.
Right, and like even like the least performing ones are still valuable like properties to have as an asset. And then, I'm going through a catalog sale where I'm selling portions of the Mike Stud stuff, and it's fucking real bread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and only one true hit, but 50, 60, however many songs, couple hundred songs.
It's like over 100.
Yeah, over 100 songs that all did well.
Adds up, yeah.
It adds up across, and not having the ownership and the lion's share of the revenue stream money. It's like from the streaming, it's real. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Is like my best ROI is not on it's like, This sounds like a douchebag thing to say, but it's like, all right, let's put it this way. It's like expecting Dr. Phil, when he goes to film his show, he's like worrying about the lights and like the production. Like, you're supposed to go to commercial here. Like, no, he's fucking being Dr. Phil. You know what I mean? I gotta be Dr. Phil. I gotta be Dr. Steve, you know what I mean? But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, Brad Pitt isn't worried about telling the makeup lady how to do the makeup. He's just sitting there, and then he's going to go be Brad Pitt.
Let's be honest. Brad Pitt doesn't need makeup.
Well, yeah,
he's a
bad
beautiful
example.
man.
Whatever, maybe they were making, whatever it was. Like, my point is, it feels as though it's not time well spent anymore to not be in the studio. And if, like, me, sometimes
you point that baby at your
sometimes mouth. I catch a vibe one night and I make 3 songs that could be 3 Miami oceanfront properties. It really is, it's even if they're just solid homes. But like, and then my boy, who's like kind of my mentor a little bit on the business side, Ari, who stepped in, was just like a really smart guy. He's a real estate guy, and he sees it the same way. He's like, it's genius. I don't think I've heard an artist say that. But it's true. I think Russ has a similar outlook on it. He's like, I make what I make. I put it out. Some of these go crazy. Some of them don't, but they're all fucking incredible ROI. You know what I mean? You're spending fucking really crumbs comparatively to what it can bring in.
Exactly. This is you listening to Premium Music by Mike. Getting wasted on the beach. Premium Music by Mike. Dancing with a hot girl. Listening to Premium Music by Mike. Hot girl sitting at the bar. Getting hammered on a rooftop. Hot girl at the bar looking your way. You in a dope suit. Money. Convertibles. Premium Music. You having a threesome. Your friend joins in. Shots. Lots of fucking money. Dancing to Premium Music. Hot girls. Beer. Champagne. Girls making out. More cars. More money. More fucking chicks. Premium Music. Drink a beer. Drink another beer. Drink it all, you fucking pussy. Premium Music. Hot chicks. OnlySteves.com. Shifting gears, I haven't seen you in like 2 weeks. What have you been up to?
How do I look?
You look fantastic.
I got a fucking Miami tan, baby.
I know. I just want to point this out. Mike already got his haircut today. He was in Miami for a few days.
Haircut.
He's tan. He's got the new haircut. I have had zero time to get any sun. I've been in New England.
I think you look good.
I've been in New England, and my haircut's not till tomorrow. So you got a little jump start on me. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
What were you up to the last 2 weeks?
So I was down with a new kid, a new producer.
Let's start from the beginning.
Since tour?
Yeah, like you went home for a little bit, right?
I mean, I have a terrible short-term memory, so let's see if we can jog it.
I don't even know why I'm asking you. I know the answer. You went home for a little bit.
Yes. I went home.
You saw the Celtics get absolutely annihilated.
Yeah, I went to Game 4.
Yeah,
and they didn't win ever since then. So, but it was shout out Sully, my guy over there. He fucking hooks me up, man. I'm bringing my whole family to these games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brielle, these are like core memories. She's like a huge Celtics fan now.
Dude, I didn't get to do anything like that when I was a kid.
Yeah, she doesn't understand that. Like, obviously, she doesn't get that. Like, most people don't go to a finals game.
She'll look back and like really appreciate it.
Yeah, but she's been courtside every time. I brought her, I think, 2, maybe 3 games.
Yeah.
I think it was 2, maybe 2 or 3. But we went, I did that. We were in Austin after tour, right? And then went home. And then
how was it being home though?
Amazing.
In general.
And I had just been home. I just had saw them for a while. So I've actually had I kind of had an awakening. It was what was it? It was like a meditation awakening where I was just like I'm not spending enough time with my family.
Yeah.
And then I also realized when they do spend time with me, it's on my clock. It's like Mike, it's not their son, it's like the artist. We're like they're there and supporting and they're catching a vibe and they enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not like just fucking going and doing shit with Brielle and like doing mundane, regular stuff with your family,
Yeah.
Which I realized it's kind of fucked up. And then usually when I go home, I'm like kind of tired. It's usually like a bunker down for like 5 days. But they love having me. But I've made an effort since when I went home. I took my mom horseback riding. We went to the games. I made sure I was doing shit with them all the time, actively.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just.
How'd it feel?
Really fucking good. I mean that shit. I mean, these are real thing. Like that. That's what that song's about, though. It's just you can't put especially when I've gotten a bunch of these wins here. You know what I mean? Like in this world, it's obviously exceeded our expectations. Maybe not, but at the core level, like we've gone on and done a lot of great things here in this realm and with our business and just as an artist, you have accolades and you get them, but yeah, like the constant in it all. This all changes, but the constant is that's what you gotta water. You gotta fucking water that grass and not take it for granted when you do have an opportunity to, And I just realized I wasn't spending enough time, so I've actually seen them a bunch,
mm-hmm.
and it was awesome. And I actually really enjoy my time there. I mean, it's nice because I'm not like. It used to be kind of a lot because I would go out and then I'm a popular guy in that area.
Yeah, and then you'd be hungover and you'd be sleeping all day.
Yeah, and even when I would go home, I'd be like, it's kind of a lot. But I was putting myself in those positions.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not even going out. I'm not doing that shit. You know what I mean? And I'm just chilling with them and maximizing the days with them. And
yeah,
it's just I like the direction of maturity, and I'm going further and further that way. You know what I mean? And feels good. It's like a reinvention,
Yeah, I was home for 2 weeks as well with my parents, and I came to a weird realization that we're at an age where we need our parents. We rely on our parents the least, but we appreciate them the most.
That's a bar.
Isn't that crazy? And I told you this story, but my brother's getting married soon, and I had to get a new suit and get fitted for it.
Uh-huh.
And instead of my parents or like my mom saying, just go get a suit and get fitted for it, she said, I scheduled you an appointment at Nordstrom's, and me and your father are all going with you to get fitted for the suit.
It's so annoying, but so cute and adorable. You can't be mad.
Me as a teenager would be like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
This would be the worst experience of my life. And now, although still kind of annoying, but I found humor in it. I'm there and I realize that now, like, they're literally spending their energy on helping me.
Yeah.
The older you get, the more you realize
that.
You start to pay attention to the people who are really putting energy into helping you.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing. And it was
your mom's a legend, man.
We're in Nordstrom, and like, you know, my dad's 80. He's old Vietnam vet, and my mom's
She's
like
such a legend,
my mom's
too.
like a upbeat, crazy Italian woman. And
how old's your mom?
She's
not to put you on the spot.
No, she's 60. She's like 68.
Is she?
Yeah.
She looks fucking
Would never
great.
believe it, right?
Dude, her energy is insane.
Yeah, crazy energy.
She's a rock star.
So the two parents are very different, but very funny together.
I can't believe she's that. I thought she was way younger.
No, she's 68.
I thought she was like maybe 60.
She turned 68 this year.
Wow. Tip
Yeah.
my hat.
It's wild.
Mary Ellen.
And we're in Nordstrom shopping for this suit, and there's this very nice, very, very nice gay gentleman helping us out.
Yeah.
And of course my dad has something to say. Not in a bad way. He's just, you know.
He's going to have you dressing like a pansy, son. You can't.
No, not even like that. He doesn't even say anything disrespectful. He just acknowledges that he's gay in a funny way.
Yeah, your dad's hilarious.
Not disrespectful, but like he'll just say something. He'll acknowledge it, and then my mom will shit on him for acknowledging it.
Yeah.
And I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Just trying to get fitted for
and
this
a
fucking
Lululemon
suit.
cutoff and a mullet.
Yeah, and I'm like 34 and I'm getting fitted for a fucking suit with my parents.
This guy's like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy?
I had like every right to just be so pissed, but I was just like, you know, like
yeah, it's hilarious.
they're here, they're helping me out, and
yeah,
it's for my brother's wedding.
I'll tell
it's
you
for a
what,
good
man.
thing.
You all the shit we're talking about. I mean, it feels good to talk about it because, dude, it's a good feeling. It's just good to think about this as early as you can. You know, because I wish I thought like this earlier, but just it's a good feeling to have control of your emotions.
Yeah.
And to not be that fucking asshole, like just like,
yeah,
mom, fuck off. You know what I mean?
But we were all that way as teenagers.
No, I know, but I'm exactly. My point is, the quicker you get to that, like, I mean,
yeah,
you realize like life is beautiful. The mundane things can be beautiful when you have the right, you know, outlook. You know, it's an outlook thing, but just like being able to have self-awareness where you're like, you know, like you said, like they're fucking spending, they're old and they're spending their fucking time and energy to be here with me. And this is, you know, and then that can translate into every relationship in your life. I mean, I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm in a relationship and I notice a huge difference being able to just be like, you know, like instead of like, I'd be like a smart mouth, kind of say something back or like, you just like put yourself in other people's shoes in the moment. And really it's powerful, you know, it can be really powerful. And I don't know, I think anyone listening, if you actually got to this place, and it takes time, and you're not going to be perfect, but it takes time. Once you start having those feelings and then you realize how much energy you save, next time you get mad, take inventory of how you feel. Does that feel good? Like that, like hot, like, you know, you could be worked up over some shit for like 3 hours. You know what I mean? And like, that's just, my point is, some people feel like, oh, no, I gotta stand up for myself. And like, if they fucking tread on me, like, oh no, I'm letting them know. I'm letting them have it. You know, like, I gotta you know, if someone says something disrespectful, take inventory of, if you just said, you know, don't even say anything. Have pity. Like, they're just like, that's an asshole thing to say.
Right.
Versus, and this is hard. Coming from me, I used to be the biggest fucking reactive guy ever. You said something, be like, what? You know what I mean? Now, you know, I feel a lot more powerful. I used to think it was like, good for me. I stand up for myself. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've been on that side. So I'm speaking from a guy who's been on both sides of it. It really does feel a lot better to just not react. And you save so much energy, and then you feel good about yourself versus like, I would beat the shit out of someone and I'd be, one, I could be in trouble, which I got in trouble really badly. I got kicked out of middle school. You know what I mean? I got really seriously in trouble in a fight when I was on my 21st birthday that I literally could have ruined my whole life. You know what I mean? And even still after that, I was hitting people on tour and shit. Remember, people would say shit to me and I would just like knock them out all the time, allegedly.
Allegedly at Julep.
Just everywhere, like all over the place, you know?
Yeah.
Even still after, but that really scared me straight. At least, you know, it was the starting point of realizing that even though my outlook wasn't good and I wasn't thinking like this, I knew like hitting people was just too much of a risk and this was crazy, you know? So I slowly wound down off that. But I mean, dude, it's a great thing to have power over your emotions. I think that's the goal of all this self-mastery work you try to work on. You try to have control of yourself.
Yeah. Especially if you know yourself, like, and you're happy with who you are.
Yeah.
What could anyone possibly say to upset you?
Right. And you realize that's true power.
Yeah.
There's true power in that. Like, think about it. Think about it logically. If someone else outside of you, this person over here, can say something and you explode when they say something, who has the power?
Yeah.
They do. Mm-hmm. But if this guy's sending all his negative energy, which is a terrible energy exchange for him, saying shit, trying to get you riled up, and you don't react, who has the power there? You know what I mean? Again, it's just a powerful thing. So that's why you try to work on the awareness game as much as you can, which I just know that it was just so rewarding for me. I still fuck up all the time, you know?
Yep.
But it's a lot less. And I feel like I save a lot of energy, and I feel like my energy is better. I feel in good spirits a lot more, you know?
I think you described relationships too as an energy exchange.
It is.
And if you're with someone who's not on the same wavelength as you, they'll drain your energy. So it's them taking energy from you, and then it could be vice versa. But if you find someone who you were right in line with, you're feeding each other's
Think
energy.
about it. It's a current.
Yeah.
Energy is current.
Right.
It doesn't stop. If it just stays with you, you're not getting the current back, you know?
Right.
So that's relationship. And you know, it's hard because people go through shit and their frequency might really drop once they're, I've experienced it. Like, shit happens. That's when we get back to the power of, managing your emotions. If you're able to put yourself in their shoes, like, that's usually what I notice in my relationships. Like, they'll be going through something and I'm not being compassionate enough to not react when they give me attitude or something. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you mad at me for? And that's just not the wave. Like, just be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry you feel that, like, whatever you can do to be a helpful partner. You know what I mean? And I used to always think, like, if it wasn't fair, then I got to say something. What the fuck does that do?
And you're not taking time to understand the real root of it.
Yeah, I'm not even coming from the right frame of mind. Like, the right framework is how are even just friendships, anything. Like, if they're going through something, you sympathize and you adjust accordingly to make a fucking, to get his get his or her energy back flowing. You be a backbone for that person, whoever it is, your friend, your mom, your girlfriend, whatever, That's how powerful that's how relationships last. Because ebbs and flows of life is definitely going to happen. How do you handle the ebbs and flows? And then especially when you got two people living parallel lives and they're ebbing and flowing in different times. If something happens to her and you're over here on a high vibe and she's down in the dumps, you got to lift her up, you know what I mean? And then you got to, hopefully, you don't expect the same, but you want the same from her, But yeah, it's just one big energy exchange.
It's crazy stuff.
It is.
Well, I want to ask you this. We're about to go out for 18 shows, I believe.
Yes.
And it's almost double the first leg. It's going to be a little over a month long. Do you think this will probably be one of the last times we tour this length in one batch?
Yes.
Why is that?
Well, I'm just going to be touring more thoughtfully. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about the business of music and how we're looking at things a little bit.
Yeah.
And I could shed a little light on it.
And the ROI on your time.
Yeah, exactly. Touring isn't as profitable as you may expect. And I think most consumers of music just think all artists are rich and famous and have excess of money. And yes, to a certain extent. But the more money, more problems thing is a real thing. That's why that was such a timeless idea. Because, not necessarily problems, but like just on the simple logistics of putting on shows and tours. I have double the staff, double the transportation cost, double the boarding cost,
all the stage production,
double the production, double the rent for the venues that you pay to, you turn the lights on in a place and staff that venue. And when it's all said and done, I don't have a lot of splits at the end of the day, but I'm paying everyone. You have a lot of people, and it's still, don't get me wrong, it's still good money. But back to that, it's connected to that conversation we had earlier about music and how I look at the output of music.
Yep.
I'm gonna go on a crazy sprint. You know, I don't know if it will be immediate. Like I'm going on a sprint now. We're dropping a song every week for the next 5-6 weeks. Gotta win the summer at all costs.
We're gonna win the summer.
We have Win the Summer EP. It's on Only Steve's now, but there will be 2 more songs I add to it and come out publicly. But yeah, I'm gonna go on sprint. But I'm saying, like, before I get out of the game, who knows when that will be? Maybe it will be never. You know, maybe it will be 5 years from now. Maybe it will be 2. But I'm gonna go on a crazy sprint in regards to output and like just music, because I have so much that needs to see the light of day already, and I want to really create for a while. So there'll be a lot. You know, I think it could be, even if I'm not really even active as an artist, or I fall back and go to Europe or do whatever, right? I think I have songs by the end of it, and then I'm going to be creating all over the place, but I'll have songs by the end of this run to like last us 2-3 years, you know, even if I stop creating. What I will say is, like, I don't think I'm going to stop creating for a while until I feel otherwise, you know, but that's what I'm planning on doing. And then as far as music, I mean, I definitely have 2 more albums, and those are going to come within the next, like, I'd say the next one definitely drops. It just drops in these winter months coming up.
You think before the end of the year, possibly?
It could be,
yeah,
or it could be on the other side, but it will be before the weather starts to warm up. You know, the lows is, you know, the highs was in the heat of summer. Music you want to hear out there. How does that make you feel? The production's brighter. Even my voice, like, I left my voice brighter. My vocal approach to songs, it's like brighter, happier, higher, lighter. You know, the lows. It's not gonna be depressed music by any means, because that's not the truth. The lows are about what do you want to hear? How do you want to think? What ideas do you want to think about when you're low, to get you out?
Yeah,
to persevere, to handle them the best you can.
So it's not necessarily depressing music.
Not at all.
It's uplifting music.
Some of it will, but all of it kind of has an uplifting undertone still, because that's just not the vibe I'm on. Like, you know what I mean? I got to be true to what, you know, what the hell is going on and how I feel. That's the only music I can make, you know? But yeah, just a real sprint. In regards to your initial question, we'll be touring. I don't know. It could be for years, but it will be less frequent. And we'll probably go into places and do like Stevenson Ranch weekends. So where we go and do like a live podcast, we have a Bellina Cup, or we have a bar night, Skis plays a bar show.
Yeah.
Then we do a fucking amphitheater, you know, and we're going to call on all Steves in that region, because I'm not going to be going to cities like I am as much. So Steves in that region, like, you give them the dates way ahead of time. You know, like I'll probably give like a 6-month lead time to the next tour.
Yeah.
And say, hey, if you want to come see a show, these are the shows I'm playing this year. You know what I mean? And maybe some festivals, because that's starting to happen too. So come see me at a festival, or come for the Stevenson Ranch weekend. It's better than a real concert. Like, there's a reason to go travel and get a hotel room with your boys or your girl or whatever, because there's going to be, in the ticket, there will be a bunch of other value. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be all exclusive Stevenson Ranch. We'll do a pop-up shop. We'll do live pod with an athlete in the town or something. We'll do it thoughtfully. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just the next level is where I want to go. And that calls for less frequency. And then also, I mean, I'm just in the business of like doing what I need to do. I feel like that's how you have a successful career as an artist, and you don't die. I don't mean literally die. I mean
just burned out.
Die out. You know what I mean? Because it stops being fun when you're doing shit that's against your will. You know what I mean? And when I'm listening to my will, it's just like, yeah, if you tour like what we did in the past, that level of frequency and that volume, my body will hurt. My mind will be less clear. I'll have lesser ideas. I think I'll be a lesser creative. And I think that's most valuable. What
frequency would you say you were on last leg? You kind of changed the way you started doing things on tour.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I definitely drank alcohol every night, but I got drunk maybe twice.
Yeah.
Going on stage totally sober. I drink on stage. It's part of the vibe to have a few beers out there, have a few ranch waters, I should say. But yeah, just felt more present the entire time. I was not battling hangovers. I was spending my time productively in the day. Like, even if I'm relaxing, I just felt better. You know, I definitely worked out more frequently than I had ever in the past. Do I think I'm going to keep walking in this direction though. You know, I'm going out. I'm not going out, you know. The guy, Skis is the fucking reliever. We're calling the middle reliever. Skis is coming in. Skis will be out partying. Blue will probably be with him. You may or may not be. It doesn't sound like it. That's Kilmer turn over a whole new leaf. I don't know if we want to dive into that or not.
We can dive into it. I'm very open about it.
Yeah, so yeah, if they've been listening this long, then they deserve to know the John Kilmer backstories. John Kilmer's in a relationship.
Yeah, big time. And I just want to point out,
to be honest, I'm happy about it.
She's a listener of the podcast. She's gonna be very embarrassed right now.
I love it. I love that.
When I met her, she said, "I fall asleep to the sound of your voice every night."
Wow.
What a turn on that is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it's interesting, like, over the past few years, like doing a lot of work on myself, and like you said, the self-awareness, all that type of stuff. And like now getting into a new relationship, Mike walks out.
as you pour your heart out. Yeah. Keep going. I'm gonna go take a leak.
now, like starting over and getting to know someone, like with this new leaf, you know.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and like you can like really have that self-awareness of finding someone who really is on your wavelength. You know.
Yeah.
It's just like just starting over.
It's a whole other level of attraction, right?
It's crazy. Yeah, no, it really is crazy, and like you can recognize right from the beginning if it's going to work out or not.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like so like passionate about this now early on, because like I can already tell. I already have the intuition.
Hey, welcome to the club.
And 4 years ago, 5 years ago, like I was on a way different path, way different wave.
Yeah. You not ransacking the cities.
Yeah.
Is blasphemous to the John Kilmer.
Well, I was telling
the John Kilmer story.
I was telling young Buck over here, Luke, how old are you? 23? 24? Yeah. So like, you know, when we were 24, we were just starting this journey of like, you know, being kind of famous and ransacking cities.
We didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah, we didn't know how to handle it. And then, you know, speaking for myself, I did it for like 8 more years.
You did. You're like Van Wilder.
Yeah. So it's like, I can look back and say, all right, I did it. Yeah. I took advantage of an awesome situation. I had a great time.
What you just said is really, really important.
Yeah.
So you just have to listen. I get people that ask me about this a lot in my DMs and shit. And I'm like, dude, I can't give you, you know what I mean? I'm not there for the relationship to give you like a yes or no. This is what you should do or what you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
I can give you an outlook though. And it's like, dude, you have to do what's intuitively being told to you, right? So what I mean by that is like, look at your life and like how you're feeling. What are you thinking about a lot? If you're with a girl, are you ever thinking like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, man, I wish I could. No, I'm not saying like you want to get away from your girl every now and again. That's real, you know, like ladies' night when the girls go out with their friends is a real thing because you just got to get away and like, you know.
Yep.
And that happens, and guys have their man caves for that reason. They disappear and go be a man somewhere, you know. But like,
jerk off.
Yeah, do whatever you got to do. Recenter. I meditate and you jerk off.
Someone call it the same thing.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. But you know, I just had this conversation with a buddy of mine who I was with in Miami, and he's in a relationship of a long time, and he's young, and it's all he's ever known. And then he's also becoming successful. And transitions are happening, and it's just like there's a way of looking at it where like it's not necessarily about, it's more, most people really worry about making the wrong choice.
Mm-hmm.
If I break up with her, man, she's great, you know what I mean? What if let's think about it though, like, you know, if you really truly feel, if you guys are truly meant to be together and are so, you know, really can withstand a life together, not to say like she won't move on or you can move on, but I think the answer lies somewhere in taking that jump. What I mean by that is like, you go try some new things, you might know, be like, I fucked up.
Yeah.
How do you know if you didn't?
Mm-hmm.
You're always wondering, you're kind of teetering on the line of like, man, it would be nice to be single, you know? And then you go on with your relationship, you tie the knot, you have a kid, look at the baby.
And then there's resentment because you never went out and did that.
There's a general resentment because then you're like, I didn't even, you know? And I feel like that happens to a lot of people.
Yep.
and it's a traditional thing, and there's, it's not to say like you might be with the woman you need when you're 20, you know, like it's not, this isn't a blanket statement. It's more so like, what is your gut telling you? You know what I mean? Like, maybe if it's drawing you anywhere out there, then
you got to go see it through.
You got to go see, you know? And I think you have that conversation, she'll be upset, but she won't be like, fuck this guy. If you went and cheated on her and tried to get by on it, she finds out, she might never fuck with you ever again. But if you're like, I want to be honest, like I'm having these feelings where I need to explore my life, you know? And if you want to stay in contact, you do. If you don't, you don't. But, you know, just be like, I need to know. And, you know, I'll be a better partner, lifelong partner to you if I go get this answer, you know?
Yeah.
And if it draws me back to you, then here we are. Now, this is easier said than done. She'll resent it and she'll, you know, whatever. But at the same time, I feel like it's a more honorable, easier on your conscience, and a good karmic move where you won't have bad karma if you're just straightforward with the actual sentiment of it. I need to know. Do you want me to be married to you in 20 years from now, like divorce you because I realized I never fucking went out and did anything? I never chased my own dreams. Like, that's what midlife crises are, you know? So this is just like the new age way I think of looking at relationships, and it's not easy. You know, every relationship's different, but.
Yeah. I mean, we had such a different upbringing in our 20s that no one can relate to.
Yeah.
And I started having almost resentment towards myself because I never really was in a relationship that I took seriously.
Yeah.
And like you were saying with the whole like going city ransacking and like taking advantage of a good situation that we were in.
Yeah.
Like I did it, but I was trying to do two things at once when I should have just been focusing on one.
Totally.
And now I'm at the stage where it's like, all right, I fucked up.
I love that you're here.
I fucked up all those other relationships big time, but I took it. I was living the life the way I wanted to live it, although it wasn't. Yeah, I was trying to live two different lives. I still like. I'm not gonna have any resentment from my past because when we were out on tour and we were like doing that whole thing, like I was like in the moment and I was living it and I enjoyed.
And these are the best times of your life, and you loved it.
And I enjoyed myself and I loved it. And now I can like look back and be like, all right, I did that for 10 years. And I can have this whole new outlook where it's like I can finally stop resenting myself and have a relationship that I do take seriously.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome that you got there. I got there. I got there years ago, you know?
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd get there.
Yeah, it's been a couple months, but here I am.
Yeah, no, I mean, even just, it does say, you know, even if say you just acknowledge this and came to this reasoning and on your own, without the relationship, you know, the relationship made you actually make the decision and but like, even if you just had this realization, it's a huge step, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if you live by karma, which you got to, you know, it's just not gonna be fruitful for you if you're fucking people up, you know, you're fucking with people. And like,
yeah,
I look back at all even just any relationships that I've botched between friends or anything, certain scenarios where I was in the wrong, you know, like, you can't, you know, like you put it nicely, you can't resent yourself presently. That just poisons your vibe, you know? Mm-hmm. But what you can do is grow from it. That's what this tattoo I got. This, like, you know, that's exactly what it is. It's like, it's the lows raining into, you know, a head, and the head is a garden, you know? So it's like the lows, if you're able to accept that everything that's happening is part of growing yourself. It's an opportunity to grow, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's where you can get, so you could turn resenting yourself. Once you realize it, yeah, you might resent yourself, but then you turn that into like fuel to be good, to be right, do right by people and do right by yourself. Who the hell said this? It's just multiple people have said this, but being of service to other people, being a good person to other people is selfish.
Yeah.
Because you're doing right by you. You're going to, in this frame of thinking, mm-hmm. you're attracting great things if you're being a great person.
Yeah.
And it's going to come back in many ways, you know? Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's great. I'm happy. And now I don't have to be the only loser on the bus that isn't going out.
Yeah, no, I really do want to come out of this tour better than I went in. And the only tour I can honestly say I ever did that was the Kendrick tour, because I didn't have you guys on it to like.
Yeah, but you were running it up.
I was running it up, but like I was still like going to the gym every day, and I was like, eating semi-healthy and stuff like that. But besides that tour, it's just been complete mayhem.
Yeah, I mean, we fucking torture ourselves out there, you know?
Yeah.
But dude, it's another thing. Like,
but waking up, like my main focus now, and I mean, you're in you felt this exact same way. It's like, I just like to wake up and feel good every day.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what life is about.
I just like 2-3 days ago, like I had just like woken up, showered, got out of a gym session, went outside. It was sunny, like just walking around outdoors, and I'm like, man, I feel fucking incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Way better than any drunk or any high or anything. Like I just feel incredible.
Yeah.
Because I was just taking care of myself.
Yeah. And the reinvention of yourself towards health and stuff.
Yeah.
You're sacrificing like the camaraderie and the hoorah of like the nights out and the stories, and as you put it, like we had the liberty to and the luxury and the luck to live that out, and I think we have a lot of that ahead of us still, but at the same time it's like a different experience. This is like a whole new thing now, because it's just like we're really in it and we're really present, and it's not about the blur. Most of that shit's a blur.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm done trying to see clearly. You know what I mean? The blur was a big part of who I am. I don't regret any of the blur, you know, but I feel like at the same time, I think it's like a second wind in life when you know, it's not just partying and fucking random girls and, you know, doing that. And if you think about it, yeah, we experienced a lot, and I put that in air quotes because we kind of did the same thing everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We
obviously had to do what we were doing business wise, but like if you think about our experiences, yeah, like the last few years, LA was crazy. We had a bunch of crazy experiences that were, you know, the entourage lifestyle came to life, you know,
mm-hmm.
and then we go on the last 2 years, and the experience has been quadrupled because we've been traveling and going in new places and shit,
and not touring,
right, and running new businesses. But if
mm-hmm.
you think about it, we're going and doing the same shit. We're going and partying and fucking running it up, you know. So
mm-hmm.
I just started the whole hiking thing in Arizona. Like those were all like, I was like, I'm like literally, these are new hobbies that I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's what's exciting about even touring like this. Like, it's a vibe. You're gonna love it.
You remember you're gonna love it.
You're gonna love it. I guarantee it, man.
Do you remember one of the first podcasts? Yeah, it was like third episode where like I asked you like, do you have any like hobbies?
Yeah, I remember I had a realization. I was like, I'm not doing anything.
Like things outside of business, or like things that like go towards your business. Like, do you have anything you just do for fun? And you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And now like it's a lot of self-care stuff, and like which counts.
I love it. I have a blast.
You know what I mean? Like you work on yourself. It's not just about business or whatever. It's like you're just working on stuff to make yourself feel better.
I got a crazy bar for you. I thought of this the other night. And it parlays off that nicely, if I do say so myself. Is life is the muse. You know what I mean? Like, life is the muse for me, for my music, for my creativity, you know? Mm-hmm. And parlaying off what you just said, like, I gotta live life. That's part of the job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too busy to have a girlfriend. Even I'm not too busy to have a fucking long distance relationship, mm-hmm. which is what I have.
Yeah.
And there was a big part of me for a while that held on to the fact that I'm too busy right now. This is everything I've been working for. Like, I can't, but this is life.
Yep.
You gotta go with life, you know, and let life be the muse. And I might go have this crazy experience with her and be so creatively inspired, you know, that I make my best music ever, the true hits, the classics of my career. And it might be from going and living that life and being open to saying, hey, I'm going fucking Europe for months, and you know, I'll be back when I'm back, type shit. Yeah, but like, maybe that's like, you know, you get what I'm pointing to?
It makes it like you get to the point where like you look back and you think, how can artists be artists without any life experience? Like, what the fuck do they make art about?
Yeah,
you know.
And you know, people have have experiences their whole life that they can articulate the pain and they or the good feelings. They can artists are incredibly sensitive, that they can just spill out and articulate things from experiences in the past and do it presently in new, fresh ways. But to your point, that was like one of the big awakenings when I remember I came to you, I was just like, we got to move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I wasn't living. My only version of living, we would just go out and get fucked up and then fucking go back to that crib and then end up in the studio again.
Yeah.
Now, I'm happy I did it. I sharpened my sword, which I needed to. But it's time to live. And then just like, I make songs like, you see like one take sometimes. So my point is, I truly feel like right now life is my muse and I'm doing it the right way. Like I don't need, whatever is coming to me is kind of part of the gig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said something in the past and like people on TikTok were like, what does he mean? It's just like life is part of the job. I don't mean like it's work. You know what I mean? I mean, literally all of it is part of the job as a creative you have to live there. You have to live where your feet are. You have to experience and then you have to feel it and then you have to articulate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy, man. I mean, especially with writing. I mean, as you know, like I've been journaling for 7 years. I'm trying to craft it into a body of work. And like the first chapter is just constantly changing because I'm constantly like sharpening what the real story is, and like, you don't really know what the full story is until you step back and like you get those realizations on like what you've gone through over the past decade. And
true.
And I don't know, like it's like I just feel like the theme has just kept changing, and changing and changing.
I mean, that's literally when I was making all that music in LA, and like we knew something was happening, and the whole mic switch, and then the post situation, and all that. Like, I was just creating, and like you're saying, just like writing, and then it just comes to you when the first chapter is like definitely the first chapter, And the story is definitely the story. Like the highs, lows, in betweens, keep going trilogy thing all came to me like that when I didn't really know. I just had so much music and but now I feel like that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It just came.
Yeah.
So the point is just keep writing, and then art is one of those things. I feel like it's all intuitive and it's all timing. And how can you write a book? How can you write and end a story when the story's still going? Yeah. Is there a story within the story? Maybe so, but you know what I mean? Like, that's life. So much life is still happening. The story is still going. So there's just, even with our documentary, I think that's going to be incredible when it's done. We're going to do a documentary for each album.
Tour leg, yeah.
But from there, and tour leg part of it.
Yeah,
the whole story, and then the whole final story will be the keep going documentary. And I think that, I mean, when that's over and when that's ready to be told, I think we'll know. I don't know what exactly it is yet, but that's the beautiful part. You never know.
You never ever know.
You never know.
Crazy stuff. Well, let's go live life.
Let's go live.
You ready to live life?
I'm ready to live.
I'm gonna live life.
I'm living life.
Let's go live life.
Let's do it.
All right, come on, let's go.
You ready?